Okay, here's some help for homework sheet 6. Okay, question 1's a wee bit of a monster. The first part says you have to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So bisect means it cuts in half. So the first thing I'm going to be looking for is the midpoint between A and B. Second thing, it's perpendicular. So we're going to have to work out the gradient of AB, and then we're going to have to get the perpendicular gradient. Then into the formula y minus b equals mx minus a, we're going to plug the midpoint and we're going to plug the gradient. So that's how we do the first part. The second part says find point CD from part A where it crosses the coordinate axis. So your first straight line will look something like that. You might not know that from what your answer, but that's what it looks like. And what we are asked to find is what's the coordinates of this point here and this point here. Now, just for the sake of argument, let's say that your line was 4y plus 3x equals 24. It's not, but just say it was. If I wanted to work out where it crosses the y-axis, that's this point here, then all I need to do is put 0 in for x. That then gives me 4y is 24, y would be 6. So it crosses at 0, 6. So in the example you've got, put 0 in for x, that tells you the y coordinate. To work out this point, where it crosses the x-axis, then you put y as 0 in. So you put 0 in here for y. So that would give you 3x is 24, so x is 8. So that would be the point 80. Okay, so once again, that is for my example, not yours. You use that example for your answer. And then the third and final part is we have to find the equation of the circle that has C and D as a diameter. So there's your C, there's your D. Now you've just worked those out for your previous answer. So we need to work out what the centre of the circle is. So that's going to be the midpoint, once again. So get your midpoint for here for the centre. Then you're going to do a little bit of Pythagoras work on that triangle to work out the radius. Then you can write down the equation of the circle. Okay, so you're putting in the number here, the number here, and the number here. So this is a big question, lots in it, but give us a wee understanding as to what you know or not. Question 2 is a lot easier. It's one of these recurrence relations. So the amount of hair that dandruff has next day is 90% of the hair he's got just now, plus the extra 2 hairs that grow. Okay, turn that into a decimal, and then work out the limit. That will tell you the level of hair that it goes to. Okay, is he bald? Has he just got a wee bit at the side? Or has he got a full head of hair? Right, that's what the limit will tell you. The second part of the question, if he does start to go bald, when will he be down to half the amount of hair he started with? Well, that's the question on your calculator where you have to use the answer key. Okay, so he started off with 20,000 hairs, so type that in your calculator and press equals. Then type the recurrence relation in, 0.9 times the answer plus 200 equals. Now I'll tell you how much hair he's got left after 1 month, and then press it again for 2 months, and then again, and keep going until it goes less than half. Question 3, these graph questions. Now the -2 being outside tells you this graph is moved down 2, so take the picture and move it down 2. The -2 being inside means you move the graph right 2. And the last one has got 2 transformations. Okay, so if we deal with this one first of all, f of -x, that means that you swap the graph left and right. Okay, so flip it left and right. Then we'll deal with the -2 on the outside. That means upside down and double the y coordinates. Question 4, f of g of x and so on. You should know how to do these. The g goes into the f. That hopefully should be okay. What I'll do for you, I'll give you the example of f of x. So we're going to put the f formula back into itself. So that means we put a 3x minus 2 back in here for x. So instead of having 3x, you have 3 lots of the same formula, take away 2, remove the brackets, tidy it up, and you get the answer. So you can do the same for g of x, and then f of g of x and g of f of x. Question 5, do these circles intersect? So, for the first circle, we need to find its centre, and you should know what you need to do with this number, the +6, and this number, the -10, to generate these 2 points here for the centre. We also have a little formula which says the radius is g squared plus f squared minus c. So you work out the radius as well. Similarly with this question, work out the centre. Again, you should know how to deal with this number and this number to generate your centre. The radius in this one is really simple. In fact, it's that simple. I'll do it for you. Square root of 4 is 2. Now you now know what the 2 centres are. You know what the radiuses are. Okay, so all you need to work out now is d, which is the distance between the centres. So that's using the distance formula. And then compare that to the 2 radiuses added together. If the distance is bigger than these 2, they won't touch. Question 6, domains. This is a fraction question, so the situation we're trying to avoid is we're trying to avoid x squared plus 4x minus 5 equaling 0. So factorise that. That's going to give us 2 x numbers. So your largest domain is the points x, as long as they're real numbers and as long as they are not equal to whatever you find these 2 answers here be. Right, they're not allowed to equal them. Finish off with your curly brackets. Question 7 I'm saying don't do just now. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Question 8, find an inverse function. Now remember, the way we do inverse functions is we rewrite it as y equals x over 2 take away 4. Do a bit of cross multiplying. So that means you have to write it as y over 1. So you get x take away 2 times 1 equals y times 4, or 4y. Take the -2 over, and that gives us 4y add 2. Remember, an inverse function needs to be written as x's. So g with a little -1, meaning the inverse, and then just rewrite that y as an x. Okay, so I've done the first one for you. See if you can do the second one using the exact same method. Okay, that's it.